Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back and excited to bring you this review. Today we are taking a look at from the new Transformers Generations line, or it's the same old Generations line, but it's for the 30th anniversary. Transformers Legends Class Optimus Prime and Roller. As I explained in the Bumblebee review, Hasbro is using the old Legends class line for this new scale of figures. Basically, it's a larger transforming robot with a smaller Minicon Micromaster that's a triple changer from robot to vehicle to weapon. So the front of the packaging, great art here. I've been told this is the new IDW version of Optimus Prime. When they relaunched, or not relaunched, did a soft reboot of the line a few years ago. And on the back here you have the photoshopped images of Prime and Roller and the three modes and stuff like that. Great to see the old bar style, line graph style of tech specs. I think the next step will be to include the old infrared decoders and stuff, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the figure. Starting us off is Optimus Prime. He has his somewhat iconic truck mode, a little simplified due to being a smaller scale figure. As you can see, there are touches, of course, of the G1 Optimus Prime, as well as the newer Prime and movie style Optimus with that windscreen. I must say, in vehicle mode, he does roll a lot better than Bumblebee, and that's a plus. Unfortunately, also like Bumblebee, his instructions are terrible. In fact, there's two noticeable steps, well, I should say one noticeable step and a feature that are completely left out. Don't know why, it's just how it is. I guess they have X number of space to fit on the sheet of paper, but vehicle mode, you can see he has this great bluish silver across the front here for his windshield. That carries down into where the lights would be. The grille and front bumper are straight silver. He has his, I guess you can say, iconic yellow detailing along the top there for the lights. Silver detailing down the side where that secondary gas tank would be. And then silver detailing for what is the rear of the cab, the hitch, but that's also the robot legs. It's a fun figure. I have to say I do like the vehicle mode more than Bumblebee's. I'm saying that again, and let's go ahead and get into transformation. I've decided to start transformation off in vehicle mode because going over the instructions, I feel this is the best way to show you steps that are missed out and certain aspects of how things are to go. First, we're going to come in through the front here, and you're going to basically accordion out the front grille. And while you're doing that, you want to bring it down and do the old classic transformation of the arms. You can then, just keep that front part out of the way. Now, next, you want to come in behind and swing the legs down and what'll be like the hip crotch area to form the torso. Now, here's a step they do not mention in the instructions. You have to rotate the torso around 180 degrees to get it facing the right direction with the feet. You could also go ahead and split the legs if they have not split already. They really don't peg into place all that well. You can go ahead now and rotate the forearms forward. Next, what you want to do is you want to come back, bring the arms back slightly, and to do that's basically to free up the opening in the chest here, that you can go ahead, bring up Prime's head, and then close it back up like so. It should actually stop a little bit to give you that open gap look. It's not as pronounced as the packaging shows, but you can season to taste. Now, this is kind of interesting. When he comes packaged, this front plate is actually folded up and tucked somewhat in like this, down around the hips. Both the instructions and the packaging show that you want this folded up all the way and around Prime's head. Like so. Sort of like you're basically... Oop. It's basically holding the head in place from falling down. That's one thing I will mention. The head does not peg in anywhere, and a lot of the joints are friction, not tab. So I can see it having issues down the line. You know, one thing that really disappoints me is this whole front chest thing. I would have figured that, it would have been a little bit more stable. I mean, we're going to zoom in, but you'll see what I mean. Now, the final step that's really not shown in the instructions, but is sort of alluded to on the back of the packaging, is his shoulder blades can flip up. That actually gives you a bit more of a range of motion and gives you more of that animated Prime look, what have you. Okay, I mean... Personally, I think we can just leave them like that, and that's a bit better, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure how they're supposed to go. I mean, even when they're down like this, which I think is how I'm going to leave them, you do get a little bit more arm articulation. Speaking of articulation, let's take a look at that right now. I think the head of Optimus Prime is a little bit easier to see. As you know, it is the iconic look with a few modern flares. I really think this is the perfect hybrid between the new movie style and the classic G1 look. It's not on a ball joint and can only rotate side to side. When the head is up like this, when this platform is in this position, this is how open the chest is. That kind of looks right to me, but I'm not 100% sure. It can be open more, but then you start pushing the shoulders back, and then the arms aren't even. Moving down, we see a little bit more of that bluish silver along his torso. Gray now is exposed where his waist and upper legs are. One thing I want to point out, and I think this is really cool, that's metallic blue paint on his hands. Now, unfortunately, this hand, I don't really think I can show you. The paint is flaking off on the inside. On this hand, it's fine. But it'll be interesting to see when Takara does this. And, they usually do metallic paint for everything. Are they going to do the hands as just flat, matte blue paint? Moving down, we have the same details as before. Now, I did show you the ball jointed articulation up here. He does have a ball joint at the elbow. Moves much better, more fluid than Bumblebee's due to having less arm kibble. Ball joints at the hip, so he has that swivel. A ball joint at the knee, so he can have some rotation. He actually has a lot better movement than Bumblebee. And due to transformation, he has something of a swivel. I mean, it really doesn't work that well just because once everything's in position, it's kind of stuck. But if you want to have some fun, he can do the old Scotty Steiner, hey pose. Yeah. Let's stop being silly and take a look at Roller. Optimus's partner in the Target Master Micron, whatever you want to call it, is his iconic companion Roller. This is actually a nice little update to the original G1 Roller. It's now more of a covered all-terrain vehicle. Nice little homage that I don't think was that intentional is he can hold this rifle that Prime you can use in robot mode. If you remember, the original Roller was able to hold Prime's weapon. That was due to the Diaclone line. That Roller was really more of an armored assault vehicle for the Micromen to use, and not a companion robot. But pegs in right there in that hole. You can just take it out. It's a simple blaster. Really a new style. Nothing. I mean, there's some touches of the old ion cannon, but nothing really close. Um, Roller is predominantly blue. Um, there is some that bluish silver for the windshields, black along the sides and his tires. He does roll. He rolls about as well as Optimus Prime. Actually, no, I would say he rolls better than Bumblebee, but not as well as Prime. I don't know if that really makes sense. Um, that's about it. There's a little gray up front. He does have a molded in blue winch. Transformation, yes, stand him up on the rear, and then you go ahead and flip the arms out. There's really nothing to it. He does have little molded fist holes that you can use the smaller peg on top of the rifle and have him hold it. This rifle is actually, well, I mean, taller than him, and he can hold it. So I can see him trying to shoot Prime's gun and getting blown backwards. Let's pause here, and I can bring you in and give you a detailed look at the face. Okay, Roller's head is predominantly blue. You have a little touch of silver down where the mouth would be. Sort of looks like he has vents or whiskers down the side. Going down the chest, it's basically gray. The hole in the middle we'll get to a little bit later, but yeah, it's about it. It's basically all just molded in gray details, and articulation is what you saw. The arms can move up and down. Now, let's go to his weapon mode. Alright, weapon mode is fairly easy. Just go ahead, bring the arms down. They'll sort of snap into place. That's one thing I do like. Turn them sideways, and basically you're going to push up on the cab part. That will all swing around. It won't swing around flush, but that's okay. Fold down this gray tab, and here's the weapon mode of sorts. You can go ahead, and that small hole right there in the middle of his chest, you can, using the small peg, plug the larger gun into. It does fit in quite securely. And yeah, this is the weapon mode for Prime. The bottom of Roller's feet become these double blasters, so this can actually pack a little bit of a punch. So we'll pause. I'll pose this with Prime, and I'll give you my final thoughts. As you can see, Roller in weapon mode is huge. This is more misproportioned, highly out of whack than Blazemaster was with Bumblebee. I actually have to have the knees bend and him arching back to be able to hold this up without tipping forward, just to be able to hold this gun straight. I'm sure if you can play around with it, get some more action poses where the weight is supported, but what concerns me is, since he has more ball joints than Bumblebee, will the weight of the gun break him down over time? With that said, I can highly recommend this figure. I could actually recommend both figures, the entire first wave of these Legends figures. They're fun. I'm a sucker for these type of gimmicks. They always get me. And I like being able to have an Optimus Prime in a smaller scale. Now, this is why I prefer the Optimus Prime figure more than Bumblebee. I think I actually prefer Blazemaster as a Micron Target Master more than I do Roller, as I feel he compacts down more. I don't know if that makes sense, and is a little bit more wieldy in the robot's hand. That's not to say I don't like Roller in his gun mode. I think he's looks really cool, and in fact I kind of dig his vehicle in robot mode. I think if this was a deluxe Optimus Prime, Roller would look a lot better. Um, as with Bumblebee, I got this off of Amazon. I'm fairly certain they're in stock now at BigBadToyStore.com. I'm not 100% sure when these will be hitting stores, but the Wave 1 Voyagers of the 30th anniversary are starting to hit. These can't be far behind because they're part of that first wave too. So yeah, this is your old pal Chuck for Optimus Prime and Roller. Transform, roll out. We'll see you next time.